Welcome back to another episode of the Northern Steel Podcast. This is episode 32. I'm your host, Dominic, and with me as always is my brother Chris, and we're here to talk about Steelers football. Or maybe I should change my attitude when I said that. We're here to talk about Steelers football, because this is bad. It's embarrassing. It's not good. We are coming off another loss to the Dolphins, and we got lots to say about that, don't we, Chris?
Yes, we do. It's going to be fun and filled.
It will be. But first, if you were not able to watch the game because you are in prison, but you get access to a podcast account, let's go through the highlights for you. So, the Dolphins start the game on offense, and they come out on fire. Just wide open pass after wide open pass to their two speedsters and more. Hitting the middle of the field consistently? Who could have seen that coming? Waddle for 20 plus. Gesicki for 20 plus. Gesicki, who cares? But at least there's no gritty this time, so things are looking okay. Tua, I think, did not miss a single pass this entire first possession, so things are really looking up for the Steelers here. Tua then runs out of the pocket with no regard for the past couple experiences doing so, and throws a pass to the side, hitting Raheem Mostert in stride for a Dolphins touchdown. The Dolphins are pumped. Steelers Nation is already gearing up for a very long night, and Mucha Lucha over here cannot believe it. It's really that easy to beat this team, the Steelers.
Dolphins remain on offense after the Steelers feel like they don't have to show up until they are at least down 10 points, as Tua finds Jalen Waddle in the middle of the field. Devin Bush follows behind like the beta he is, waiting for the Emperor Penguin himself to finally come down. Next play, the Steelers at the 35. Tua hands the ball off to Stanley Yelnats as he finds the hole himself, knowing our defense cannot read plays, and he finally gets taken down at the 20-yard line. Get it? A Holes reference from the classic Holes movie? Our defense being zero, who cannot read? Anyway, Dolphins kick a field goal.
Steelers on offense trying to get something going. Kenny decides, I'm going to throw it deep to Claypool. The hero against the Bucs. No way we're trading him, as Claypool trips on his own ego and falls down, leaving an easy interception for the Dolphins. On the following Dolphins drive, Tua throws more passes to, guess where? You'll never believe it, the middle of the field. Wow, wowie wow, what a concept. And hits Waddle for the easy completion with nobody around him for miles. This puts the Dolphins in field goal range, making the score 13-0. Dolphins on top. The Steelers, however, do begin to put a drive together finally. It's not important enough for these highlights to show apparently, but they do get in field goal range and kick their own field goal, making it now 13-3 Dolphins.
Finally, after gaining some slight momentum, the Steelers get the ball back and Kenny slings it to the only contributing wide receiver on this damn roster, George Pickens. In this moment, you can tell that the Dolphins' defensive backs are in complete shambles. You know what? And then the Steelers come face to face with their own Achilles heel, a 3rd and long, but Kenny says F it and channels his inner Josh Allen to big man scramble 16 yards for the first down. The drive continues, and we hand the ball off to the freight train Najee Harris as he all the way to the 10-yard line. And then, wouldn't you know, Kenny Pickett connects with who? George Pickens, as he makes an acrobatic catch to come down with his first touchdown of his career and the first of hopefully many Pickett to Pickens touchdowns. And with every catch, Pickens tries to bring us back into each game. But just like the movie The Greatest Showman, it's never enough, never, never. As there's still plenty of time in this game, which you know what that means, Dom. Plenty of time for Matt Canada to incorporate at least 6 more jet sweeps into our offensive schemes.
Isn't that right? And I can't wait to watch it. Speaking of 6, and getting a touchdown being 6 points, with 6 seconds left in this half, after a drop pick by Cam Sutton, more on that later, the Dolphins kick a field goal to go up 16-10 at the half. But with the second half left, I'm sure we'll see a lot more scoring, right? Please? God, please. The Steelers get the ball, and things are not going well as Kenny is sacked early by Jalen Phillips of the Dolphins. With nothing to show for both of these teams for the rest of the third quarter and most of the fourth, let's fast forward to 3:06 left in the game. After two stupid penalties, the Steelers are faced with a 3rd and 16 on the Dolphins' 30, trying to score the game-winning touchdown, and Kenny Pickett is picked. God, no, by Javon Holland. One of the only two good secondary pieces on the Dolphins in this game. It's over. It's all over. He forced it. Deontay Johnson's running a crow route at the 16-yard line, and he tried to fit it in there, and Javon Holland easily reads it and picks it off. The season's done. My dreams crushed. My libido low. My depression high. We will not get another chance to score again. Or will we?
And we will. Steelers, in the final minutes of the game, find themselves 4th and 4. Pickett takes the snap and places a beautiful throw to Pat Freiermuth. But they gotta hurry as the drive continues and the time keeps clocking down. You know, and just as the drive continues and my hopes continue to rise, I get sent back to the Shadow Realm as Kenny Pickett throws his 3rd and final pick of the game in the end zone. What a sad display. What hearts are broken. And
Steelers
I
lose.
am defeated.
And so are the Steelers. 16-10 in a absolute insane game of offensive prowess. And that's how we fall to 2-5, Chris.
Magical.
Ooh, boy. A lot of thoughts on this one. This was, if you wanted to be optimistic and you wanted to think that maybe the Steelers could make the playoffs, this was a must-win game because the assumption and prediction, regardless of if you think it's a classic Steelers move to win this upcoming week, is that they lose this upcoming week to the 6-0 Eagles, a team that hasn't lost to Pittsburgh in Philadelphia since 1960-something. So it's season's done, basically, is where we're at.
Listen, and I don't mean to correct or anything. Yes, obviously the Dolphins was a must-win game, but let me take that back a little bit, because now for you Steeler fans who want us to make the playoffs, I would love for us to make the playoffs. However, I'm a realist, and it's just not going to happen. Every game from here on out is a must-win game for us to even be probably a wild card contention. So, that being said, just, you know, I get it. It's not the Steeler way to just kind of fold, and I don't want us to fold. I want us to play the best football that we possibly can. Just seeing what's been happening and what's been unraveling, I don't really see a spot in the season where we do make that tremendous comeback. And now I could be wrong, Dom. I could be, but I don't know. I got to be proven otherwise if I'm going to change my tune up a little bit.
And I don't think you will be proven otherwise, to be real honest.
Nope.
Let's talk about the Dolphins game. Let's talk about some positives first. It didn't start off as a positive, but the defense actually played very well. They gave up an easy touchdown right off the bat with a lot of middle open field concepts. The Dolphins continued to drive through that first half, racking up some field goals with a bend but don't break attitude the Steelers defense likes to do. But they played well. Sure, you could say they didn't have any sacks. Sure, they did drop 4 picks, right? But I have seen people online trying to blame the defense for that loss, and if they would have picked off those balls, that we could have won the game. And I think, yeah, maybe we could have won the game because we could have stopped them from scoring a field goal here. Maybe we score a field goal in a different situation. But what does that end up being? What does that score kind of look like? Maybe we win 16-10. Maybe we win 16-13. That's terrible. That still sucks. It sucks because our offense is scoring that low. If you would have told me that we're going to hold the Dolphins offense to 16 points, we need to win those games. But right now, with what our stats show, we only average 15.8 points a game. So if the defense lets up 16 points, I guess that's not enough. Because we can't score 16 points.
No. And that low scoring average is actually less than what we did in 2019 when we had Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges in the backfield. You know, it's a really sad display of what we are seeing. And, you know, like, yeah, we could play and sit here with the what ifs, right? What if we did pick off the ball and everything? And that would be awesome. Maybe we would have gotten that win and I would have been so ecstatic. But at the same time, you can't play off the what ifs. And at the same time, you can't put the blame on the defense because, one, they played really well, I thought. You know, the way that they adjusted, especially after that first drive when they scored so easily. Dom, I literally thought that we were going to lose this game by 40 when the game first started, you know, and they drove down so easily. But to see our defense adjust the way that they did, yes, we didn't come through with the interceptions and the picks that maybe could have changed the outcome of the game. But as a football fan, you can't rely on your defense to give you 4 interceptions in a game. You know, the fact that we did that week 1 against the Bengals is unbelievable, but that should not be the sole reason why you win a game. You know, you should be able to drive on offense. You should be able to, put up points in other regards, which we're just not doing. So as far as I'm concerned, the defense played really well. They adjusted well, and I'm happy with their productivity. Our offense is just in shambles, and it's disappointing to see.
It's really bad. So the offense, there's so many things to talk about with the offense. I mean, I want to be fair to, again, when we didn't talk well about Mitch, Kenny did not play well. He really didn't. He had flashes of greatness with the conversion to Freiermuth on like a beautiful, beautiful pass, the only place he could put it. He had a great third down conversion using his legs. But he also made 2 costly picks. I know he had 3 picks, but again, another one that wasn't his fault. He's got 7 picks on the year, and only 3 are actually on him, which is just really bad luck. But he also didn't really see the field that well. I want to get into that, but this is how bad. And it's not just all Kenny, obviously. Kenny didn't have a great game. But like Najee is still trying to get healthier. He's still not running the best. We don't really have a run game, but we also fall behind too often, so we can't really have a run game. All of our concepts are really short. Our first and second down plays are still terrible. We put ourselves in third down all the time because our play calls are atrocious. The schemes of our receivers run are bad. Here's some offensive rankings for us so far this year, Chris. We were 31st in points per game, 30th in yardage per game, 31st in yards per game, 32nd in quarterback rating, 28th in yards per rush, 30th in yards per drive, tied 31st in total touchdowns. I mean, we all like to be optimistic and say that we can win games, but with Matt Canada at the helm and things that, and I truly do think he sets us up for failure no matter what quarterback is in there. How can you expect for us to win games when that's what we're putting out there? And on the frustrating side on that, Chris, is Tomlin comes out on his weekly press conference and says he's not ready to change it yet. Now, if you want to think maybe he's not ready to change it because he's going to wait for this week to be done and he'll change it in the bye week, maybe. But we don't really think it's going to happen, do we?
No, not at all.
So what are we doing? What are we hoping for? What are we liking? Because this is the product we're going to get every single week. And yes, I'm a diehard Steelers fan. I'm going to watch every week. You know, Chris, because the game here comes on for us at noon, not 1. So you know at 11 a.m. this week, before the game comes on, I'm going to be filling my head with optimistic dreams of Kenny throwing 3 touchdowns and Najee running for 100 yards and being like, maybe we could find a way to win. And I'll psych myself up like I do every week, only to watch them probably lose.
Yeah. And
but this is the product we're putting out there.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's really sad, and just seeing the display of what our offense is doing, we can't move the ball, and a lot of the play callings just really don't make sense. I touched on the jet sweeps not too long ago, especially during the highlights. And I mean, that's a play that I would like to just nix entirely from our playbook. You know, the rolling out passes that we try to do where we snap the ball and run over immediately. What are we doing? This isn't a college offense. This is a professional against professionals. We can't be running these plays. And, you remember that play, I believe it was like 2nd and 9, and we run a pitch to Najee on the outside. I think we lose like 4 yards. the thing is, we got to play to our strengths and we got to understand what those are. Najee's not a lateral speed guy. He's not someone to break it to the outside. He is a north and south running back. Everyone knows that. Everyone understands that. And he needs to be. Whereas, like, in that situation, I don't necessarily mind the play call. I mind where it was placed. Right. You know, in the game. I don't mind the outside run because we don't really do that often. But, like, I think Warren is so much quicker of a running back as far as that goes. So, like, get him into that personnel if you're going to do those plays. Keep Najee going north and south to try to get him yards that way. It's just like the schemes that we're running are so poorly planned, and the fact that we are so inept to recognize that and be like, oh, this is an issue is just so concerning. And I just feel like if nothing changes, you know, people are going to lose their job next year. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and they have to. The thing is, and I agree with you completely, I think we get too cute on some plays. There'll be drives where we're driving methodically down the field, doing a normal breakdown of plays, being a run here, a decent pass concept here, and then we try to get cute with a reverse, a double reverse, a jet sweep, or an RPO, and they're not working out. Whether it be because our where they're placed is a poor decision by the coach, or we're just not coached well on those plays. I mean, RPOs, even going back to Big Ben last year with RPOs. How many RPOs, Chris, have you seen where we get flagged for linemen being down the field because it takes too long for us to decide if we're going to run or pass it?
So often, more than I'd like to admit.
All the time. So what are we doing with it? It's not working. Obviously, we're not coaching that well. Stop doing it. I think we try to get too cute too often. So what I have up here, Chris, is, and this isn't really necessarily about each play. It kind of is, kind of isn't. But I do want to be fair to when we're talking about Kenny not having a great game. This is both. This is play concepts not working out, and Kenny kind of missing some things. There's a lot of play action rollouts. Here's a play action rolling out to his right, and right here, he immediately, and I remember this play too because they show the replay, he's trying to throw it to Freiermuth immediately. Freiermuth, for those listening, on this particular play, is at the line of scrimmage. So he's going to throw a ball at the line of scrimmage, and there's a defender right in front of him. Claypool is 4 yards past the first down marker. He's 14 yards down the field. And he's wide open. He's got probably about 5 yards of separation from each defender on him. But Pickett immediately throws it to Freiermuth on this play. Freiermuth's able to make some moves, still gain like 7 yards, but that wasn't the right read there. Here's another play action. Again, he's throwing it immediately to Freiermuth, which probably is read. You know, it is what it is. He got the first. It's a third down play. He gets the first down, right? That's fine. But if you look, if he maybe even like faked it or waited for the cross, these guys are all over the place getting crossed up. He could have pump faked it here. Look at everyone looking over here. If he pump fakes it. Watch this guy bottom underneath, I believe it's Pickens, break out for the shallow route. I mean, dude, this is a good spot too, to throw it. So is he throwing to the hot routes, or is he waiting for or is he throwing to the hot routes or away, the checkdowns are away, or should he be able to have time to let things develop is what I'm asking. That wasn't a bad throw. He got the first down. Freiermuth got like 8 yards, 9 yards. But I guess this is what I'm asking from a read perspective, because they did the same thing with Mitch. Here's another play action pass, Chris. Okay, clean pocket. He's already decided to throw it. He's going to throw it to Najee, who's 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is open right here. This, I think, probably will be open. This middle play. And I'm sorry, if you're listening at home, on the outside, I think that's probably Pickens. 15 yards downfield. He's open on the slant route. This is Claypool doing kind of like a post to the sideline. Got behind the zone defense. He's open right here. Actually, I think this is Pickens. Doesn't matter. But Kenny throws it immediately. And it's, Najee catches it. Now, Najee makes a great move here. I believe he gets a first down on this play. Yeah,
he does, yeah.
Because he makes a great move. But was that the right read? It's not.
And the thing to touch on this, too, because, yes, Kenny did not play the best game or what we've seen before. However, it's a lot of what we touched on before with him being a rookie and being able to learn and recognize these things later on. Now, I hope that he is someone who will look at these plays and be like, okay, you're right. Maybe I need to go downfield, need to look further down rather than the check downs. And, after hearing about coaches and everyone talk about Pickett, how he's always in there, always watching plays, always studying and everything, I think he can learn, but, he's being put into these situations. He is a rookie, so I expect it. But at the same time, he's got to learn from these experiences.
Yeah, let me say that, I'd much rather watch Kenny learn through this than I would watch Mitch missing these reads.
100%.
And it's just because Mitch is a 6-year vet, and also Kenny's planned to be the franchise quarterback. So I'd much rather watch Kenny try to learn and develop. This one, it was just kind of like a bad concept. I think he makes the right decision here because the safety comes way down. He would have picked this ball off on Jansen Johnson. But I think the concept that these plays that I'm showing you, Chris, are all play action plays or kind of an RPO sense. This play has got to be removed from the playbook. This little screen to the tight end. There's Gunnar came out here, Chris, trying to block. Like you might think, ooh, this is a good spot for Gunnar to throw to, right? Because he's wide open.
Yeah.
All the defenders away here. Gunnar doesn't even turn around. His whole goal right here is to block.
Easy first down if Gunnar is seen as a wide receiver or an option there.
Yeah, exactly. I believe this is another play call we need to get rid of. And we've done this many weeks in a row. This is like a play action screen to one side, screen to, and then like a HB flat to the other side. So, which Kenny's been throwing it to the HB flat that he's running to consistently. So he throws it to Jalen Warren here at the line of scrimmage. Jalen is able to pick up 8 yards. Good play for him, But if you go back, because he did this in a game prior too, look at where it's leaned up over here. Look at the entire line at the top of the screen, Chris, for a screen to Najee.
Yeah.
This way, there's one guy blocking and 3 blockers right here. That's the better place to throw to. I know he gets to turn around and throw it back, but that's the better place to throw to.
Or heck, even finding Claypool down a little further down the field. I mean,
it's a shovel pass, which was stupid. On a play action RPO shovel pass. Here's another play action. The routes on this are not very good. He throws it to the right spot here, though. Claypool's the only one open on that spot. But the play that was more about the plays being as bad as they are consistently. And Kenny was up and down with his reads. He made some good reads here and there. Made some again that Freiermuth pass, Chris, on that 4th and 4
was beautiful.
The only spot Freiermuth could have caught that.
Yeah,
I mentioned Big Ben's podcast on this before, but his podcast last week it's like a live reaction to the game. It's 3 hours long, and he talks about that play when Kenny makes that play, and the guy he does it with, I don't know his name. He's like, could you have made that throw, Ben? And Ben wasn't like yes or no. He said yes, but it wasn't really like a yes or no question. He's like, that's the only place you can throw it. He's like, you better make that throw, or else it's not being completed. That's the only place to put. That's the only place to put it. So he had his ups and downs, but I just wanted to take a moment and be fair to show you that I was so on Mitch's ass for not having the right reads, and Kenny had a rough game in this one particular for the reads.
Now, can we address more on Pickett and especially dealing with all the lovely people who feel he is considered a quote unquote bust or not the franchise quarterback of this team. So
yes, please.
Obviously, yes, it is too early to tell if he's going to be the franchise quarterback. We drafted him with the intention of filling in that role, and obviously we believe that he has the skills to lead this team in fulfilling that role. However, there are too many people who are already doubting this after the 3 full games that he has actually played in, which is such a small, I can't even think of what it's called, but just like a small example of what he's done, and also put it into perspective with, we have a horrible offensive coordinator. The teams that we're playing were the Bills, the Buccaneers, the Dolphins, And now the Eagles, who are undefeated, we literally put a rookie quarterback against these hard teams. And I get it. You know, people say, oh, well, you know, he's going to have to face these teams throughout his career. He's going to have to face these challenges. I'm aware of that. I am. But we have to also understand that he is a rookie. He just got done playing college football. Yes, he was deemed pro ready after the combine and after all these things, but a lot of people are misinterpreting pro ready with Pro Bowl caliber. You know, Kenny's gonna be out there. He's going to make some plays, kind of like that throw to Freiermuth, where you're like, wow, what a throw. This kid is talented, but then he's also going to make mistakes, rookie mistakes that he is going to learn through. You can't just take this small sample size and already pin it on Kenny Pickett, especially after knowing what this team has done, you know, who the offensive coordinator is and everything, and then deem him a bust. It's way too early, and I think Kenny has shown us promise and energy, and I'm just like, I'm so tired of people just bagging on him for what I think is no absolute reason.
No,
I think people, I think people are just, mad. I mean, you go for it.
No, I completely agree, Chris. It's really frustrating to, I don't know, that everyone wants to jump ship. I think that's kind of like in the annoying thing. That's the boat we're in, and I think if you are one of those people, you've seen the arguments online to try to go against you that, hey, Peyton Manning had a terrible rookie year, and look at him now. And you're probably like, well, I'm not comparing Kenny Pickett to Peyton Manning. I'm not really asking you to do that. What I am asking you to realize is how much. Why can I do per season? This is so stupid. I'm trying to get like per season stats.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I guess I'll just do it like this. But you nailed it. You can't throw him under the bus after 3 starts. He's played in 3 games. I understand he has 2 touchdowns and 7 picks, and it's not great. The offensive coordinator is not great, and also 4 of those picks aren't necessarily his fault. But you can't already stuff him under there. And you want to know what other fan bases did try to stuff their quarterback who are doing good are both the Bills and the Eagles. The Bills were not happy with Josh Allen in his first, honestly, 2 years. But lo and behold, he got it together. Jalen Hurts, nobody liked him past 2 years. And now he's like the messiah of Philadelphia. It's just the way it goes. Peyton Manning in his first year in the league, yeah, he almost threw for 4,000 yards, but he had 26 touchdowns, 28 picks. Okay, they went 3-13 that year. You want to talk about Big Ben? Ben Roethlisberger had a number 1 defense around him, had a great running back around him. He wasn't asked to throw as much as Kenny's been asked to throw so far in these games. I don't think he ever threw like over 30 times in a game his rookie year. But Ben had 17 touchdowns, 11 picks, 2,600 yards. Nothing flashy at all.
No.
Enough to win the games. We can go to Josh Allen stats. They're going to be, as you've probably heard, are very similar. Go to career for him. I just wish this was faster. 10 touchdowns, 12 picks, 2,000 yards. Played in 12 games. That's kind of what Kenny's shaping up to be. 12 games.
Yeah.
Barely 2,000 yards. Nothing special. Nothing flashy at all. Lamar Jackson's first year, I don't even think was really that good.
No, it really wasn't. At least statistically.
Yeah, statistically, it wasn't really that good. His first year starting. You know when he came in? Let's go stats. Well, 2019. So 2018, I guess, was his first couple of games he played in. 6 touchdowns, 3 picks. It's all right. Not bad.
Sure.
Let's go to Jalen Hurts. Because Man, nobody in Philadelphia liked him. They got rid of Carson Wentz. They wanted Jalen Hurts to succeed immediately. He struggled for a little bit. His first year with the team, played in 15 games, or that's actually the last year as a true starter. Okay, last year he played the entire season with maybe some injuries here and there. 3,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, 9 picks. That's it.
Yeah.
Doesn't really flash off the board to you, does it? 16 touchdowns, 9 picks?
No.
That's nothing crazy.
I think what's really upsetting about it too is like let's even look at a sample size of quarterbacks from last year's draft class, right? Like Zach Wilson, for instance, right? He played absolutely horrendous last year. He had 2,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, 11 picks. People were like, wow, Zach Wilson's really not a good quarterback, and everything. And it's kind of funny because looking at his stats this year, he has just under 700 yards. So Kenny has thrown for more yards than he has. He has 1 touchdown and 2 picks. Nothing spectacular at all, but obviously people are singing a different tune because look at their record. Look at
right.
What the Jets are doing, And then let's even take a more statistical improved quarterback like Trevor Lawrence, right? Trevor Lawrence was looked down on last season. Yep.
I just saw breaking news that breaks my heart.
Is it the Robert Quinn?
Yes.
Or is it? Yeah, I don't know where he went.
The Eagles. So the Steelers will be facing Robert Quinn this week. The Eagles just picked up Robert Quinn, who we could have picked up for this amount, for a 4th round pick.
Oh, good. Anyway, I also saw that Calvin Austin has been declared out now for the whole season. So it is official. Calvin Austin will not be seeing any playing time for the Steelers this year.
Very cool.
But what I was going to say is now look at Trevor Lawrence. Everyone was like, look at this high prospect coming out of college. And he did really poorly last year, too. He had 3,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 17 picks. Not a good year. And already this year, he has 1,700 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 4 picks. So he's definitely playing. They built around him, and they gave him a lot of weapons. It's the new fan culture that is just really getting to me, and it's really upsetting because I get it that we are a franchise who has not seen a losing season in dang near 20 years. And Dom and I, we're diehard fans. We've never seen it. We don't want to see it. But there's a point in accepting what reality is. Kenny Pickett, I do not think is the problem. He is going to learn from this. He is going to improve, and I honestly believe that. So stop giving him so much, crap and everything, and saying that he's a bust. Let's take this year as a grain of salt. Let's see what we can do moving forward. But heck, Dom, looking ahead at the schedule, we have 10 games left on the year, and I'm kind of more excited to see how we can play or how he can play in those last 9 games when our schedule doesn't look absolutely atrocious and super hard, and just see how he fares in that.
Yeah, I agree. It's still the same point, though, that it doesn't really matter as long as Matt Canada's calling the plays. I do agree.
I agree.
I'm still going to be optimistic, or not optimistic. I'm still going to be looking at it with bright eyes, and I want to see him improve, and I want to see him get better. I'm not going to sit there grumpy and befuddled. But
no.
But the point still stands. I don't expect them to blow off the page one day. I mean, there was a stat, Chris, I read that we only scored more than 20 points once in the past. Man, what was it, 12 games dating back to last year?
Yeah,
or
it's
longer?
really sad. Yeah,
it's terrible. I was bringing up Tua's stats too because people hated him last year still, and Dolphins fans finally like him. But last year he played in 13 games. He had 2,600 yards, 16 touchdowns, 10 picks. Nothing too crazy there either. Obviously the picks are there for Kenny. A lot of them are his fault, so I hope it doesn't show his confidence. But yeah, you're right. It is this new fan culture that just wants to win now. We're not going to have a winning season this year. You're just going to have to get over it. We gotta look for the future. You got to start looking at players performing individually, or how they can get chemistry with the team, I guess, together. What to look forward to. Matt Canada should hopefully be gone next year, and you gotta think about what's our pieces right now. To me, our pieces right now, with as inconsistent as Claypool and Deontay are Kenny Pickens, Freiermuth, and I'm not giving up on Najee yet.
No,
those are our pieces right now that you have to kind of use that as a catalyst and build around. Look, you're getting a different line and whatnot. The Eagles getting Robert Quinn, sorry to go back to that, is very frustrating because they're already undefeated as a 4th-round pick. I would have traded a 4th-round pick for Robert frickin' Quinn. However, he does cost a lot of money, so you have to pay that contract the following year, which is unfortunate. Okay. I got something else I got to talk about after this.
okay.
So that's frustrating. So will the Steelers see Robert Quinn this week? I guess we'll find out. Doesn't really matter. We are projecting ourselves to lose anyways, but we'll get on to that in just a second. And also, the Calvin Austin thing is so frustrating because Matt Canada's like, I don't know where to place him. I don't know what to do with him. And people are saying, well, maybe he got injured. Maybe there's a thing. Can't you activate him and put on the practice squad? Can't you protect practice squad players? I asked this question, and someone said, well, if you put on the practice squad, a different team can sign him, which I understand. That is a true thing. But isn't there like a number of players each week that you can lock and put like on security in the practice? Can't you do that? Can't you activate it and put on the practice squad and then lock them in place so they can't move? Or am I dumb? Is that wrong?
I honestly don't know.
If you're listening and you know, feel free to message us and tell me if I'm dumb and that wasn't right. But like, to have him not be activated, I'm not saying a 4th-round rookie was going to save our offensive problems, but with all the jet sweeps we pretend to run, he would have done better. And we're just not going to play him at all. So all the excitement, Chris, that you and I had for Calvin Austin, see you next year, bud. And that is disappointing, and I don't know if that's a Calvin Austin thing. I don't know if that's a management thing from the coaches, but it's really disappointing. And then one last thing I want to touch on, I just saw on Twitter. It's super annoying because Blitzberg is like, this is what the Steelers need, because there's a report about Linderbaum through 7 games, how he's got 1 sack allowed, he's playing really well. A center that you and I wanted, not to say that I hate the Kenny pick or the George Pickens pick. And I think during the bye week, Chris, next week, we'll talk about some rookies that we wanted and see how they're doing. But Linderbaum is a guy that we wanted, and he's playing great. And here's a tweet saying, like, oh, we should have drafted a center. We could have drafted him and Creed Humphrey. Yep, should have, would have, could have, but we didn't. So, but you and I had said that before, though.
So, also, not to cut you off, but I did look it up, and teams are allowed to protect 4 practice players per week from being signed by rival teams.
So then they could have done that. In my
they
head.
Could have. Because I'm assuming it'd be him, Mark Robinson, Sims, depending on if he's activated or not, and then whoever else.
Good God! So that just doesn't. I feel like that would have been the move to make, to be honest.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett will be rushed by Robert Quinn, Javon Hargrave, Jordan Davis, Brandon Graham, and Fletcher Cox this week.
Oh, good.
Yikes. Okay, so F this. Let's talk about the Eagles game. I don't even know if there's really any keys to the game, man. I mean, they're an undefeated team. Like I said, Philadelphia's never lost to Pittsburgh in Philadelphia since like the 60s. I don't even know if there's any keys to the game to bring up, Chris. That's more, like, because it's the same thing every week we talk about. We talk about like controlling the clock and scoring some points and adding pressure. What's the difference here?
You know, I'll just say it so that way I can feel like I'm contributing something to my life. But
keys to the game.
Yeah, there are no keys. I mean, I'm going to give up on that, especially, you know, at least for this week. You know, looking at the news that just came out with Robert Quinn and how Kenny's going to be running for his life. All I'm going to say is this, and you and I touched on this a little earlier. In this game, I understand it's a must win for all of you out there who still believe that we can make the playoffs.
But wake up.
But yes, wake up. Also, at the same time, you know, I remember you brought up this point, but like, just go out there and sling it. Who cares what happens if you get picked off? You know, if just show that drive, show that we can just like take those shots down the field, make those attempts, because what do you have to lose? We're already, I think, 11.5 point underdogs coming into this week. You only have 2 touchdowns to 7 picks. Everyone's already making fun of you for the picks. Who cares? Throw it deep, chuck it deep. If you get picked off, who cares? You're supposed to, like you just said, 11-point underdogs. We're supposed to lose this game. We're supposed to lose to the Eagles. We're supposed to get destroyed by the Eagles, especially with this new pass rush they just got too. Who cares? Their offense is good too. Who cares? Throw it deep all game. You're probably going to lose 38-3 like you did against the Bills. Who cares? The season's over. Start hucking it. Yeah, you have nothing to lose, and this isn't only on Kenny, right? I mean, I think, yes, who cares, Kenny? Just throw it down, do whatever you can, because you have literally nothing to lose in this situation. So just take those shots down the field. So coming into this game, knowing what we know, knowing that we have nothing to lose, we're not going to get a playoff spot. We're not going to make the playoffs. Just, if you want a chance to win, that's what you got to do, because F it at this point. Just go gunsling it. Yeah. If it gets picked, it gets picked. But, who cares at that point? Because we're already projected to lose. We're already going to go into our bye week 2-6, and what? Is our back half of the season going to save us? I would like to think so, but also probably not. So let's be real. Just go out there and play. And then also, side news, just because I just got the notification, TJ Watt just got activated off the IR, and his 21-day window does open today.
Right. And he'll be back. He'll be back. So, but the thing is, I'm not going to, a lot of people are also sinking their hope into TJ Watt saving the season. Who knows how he's going to play after this injury he got? I'm not sinking my hope into that. The season's over. Like you said, the first play against the Eagles, Chris, on 1st and 10, if we get the ball first, throw it deep. Who cares? Just do it. I can tell you what's going to happen, Chris. It's going to be run, pass, then punt. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But the first play, just throw it deep. I know you're trying to think, well, hey, we'll be methodical and we'll dink and dunk down the field and we'll get our touchdowns and we'll have the time possession. Who cares, man? We got nothing to lose. Just huck it around, throw it deep. Give Claypool some 50-50 balls, these go balls he wants. If he, regardless of how he does, maybe if he does really well, it could raise his trade value. If it doesn't, you could trade his ass because he doesn't catch a ball deep. Or maybe he does well. Who cares? Who cares? Just throw it deep. Here's the message.
I'll say 2 things.
Who cares?
Oh, go for it. Yeah. Exactly. Who cares? Here's all I will say. And whoever is on the team, at Matt Canada can take this as a threat, because it is. If I see a goddamn jet sweep when it doesn't make sense or at all, I am going to be so angry. I'm not going to do anything about it, because what power do I have, right? This is the only power I have, and it reaches all 6 people who listen to this podcast. However, don't you dare run another damn jet sweep, okay? At least not until Calvin Austin is on the team. And you know when that is? Next freaking year, okay? So let's cut that out of the playbook. Also, message to all the linemen: you have been doing a phenomenal job as far as pass protection goes, and you've proven a lot of people wrong. But I swear, I swear, if you commit another penalty or a handful of penalties when we are in the red zone or at least in field goal range, I'm going to lose it. There's a busy road right next to me. I look at it. I go, hey,
looks delicious.
It's an option.
Looks nice.
But seriously, let's just play clean. Be better coached. I'm just begging. Just be better. Give. If you want this offense to succeed, you can't tear it down on those aspects of it. We are already torn down enough. Just play clean, and then hopefully we can do something.
Also, for all you Najee haters out there, we're not going to run the ball well this week. So get your tweets ready, get your drafts ready about how bad Najee is. I'm going to ignore it anyways. This is not a good game for him to go against. The run blocking is not good. Like I just said, Robert Quinn, Javon Hargrave, Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Those are just a couple names of people stacking the box and trying to do run defense. We're not running the ball. We're not running the ball well. This is an absolute recipe for a disaster. That's why we're saying we care. We're going to watch without this. That's why we're saying who cares? Flip the script. Ball out. Go on fourth down every play. I don't even care. Play it like Madden. Like going fourth down every single play. Who cares? Just do something. I'm not saying you need this to win, but just do something. So you have some fight and you try to change it up a little bit. Just do something. With that, Chris, let's go into our game predictions after that rant we just did. I'm sure there's more stuff I'd love to rant about. For some reason, Frymouth is now questionable on my phone. So,
I think it's a decision. I think he just is like, do I want to play, especially with this team? It's all a question.
Oh, God.
No, but I agree with you. Let's move into that. And then also, how about for next week, since it is the bye, let's plan on tallying up where we're at with our picks and giving that mid-season total.
Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll try to have a guest on, too, next week to talk about the halfway point and about other people's opinions on how the season has gone so far. I know I just looked at speaking of places to follow us, being TikTok, I just looked at one of our old TikToks, Chris, where we made a joke about the Steelers not winning the Super Bowl this year, not making the playoffs this year, or not having a winning record this year. And all the comments were mad at us saying, the Steelers had never had a losing season in 18 years, blah, 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 blah. Guess who was right? You and I were.
Realists, Dom.
Saw the writing on the wall, man.
Realists.
Saw the writing on the wall. Saw it a mile away.
There it is.
All right, let's go through the games. Make it quick. Ravens at Bucks.
Let's go Ravens.
Yeah, we'll love a Buccaneers win, surprisingly, but yeah. Broncos at Jags in London.
Jaguars.
Charlie, are you watching your boy, Trevor Lawrence?
This is the time to go to that game, Charlie.
The time to go. I'm also going to say Jaguars. Dolphins at Lions.
Oh my. I know that doesn't go with the saying, but it felt right. So let's go with Dolphins because the Lions are atrocious again.
Yeah, and I used to believe in them and I don't anymore. I'm going Dolphins as well. Panthers at Falcons.
Falcons, I guess. Panthers have nobody.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Panthers won last week when you said that, but I'm going to go Falcons as well. Cardinals at Vikings.
Okay, so this is a potential upset game for me because I feel like
I agree.
Cardinals could pull away with it. And I feel like the Vikings have kind of been on that high horse, and usually when they sit on a high horse for a while, they usually fall. So you know what? I'll go with the upset. I'll say the Cardinals. I'll say Cardinals for that one.
I agree. This could be an upset game. I am going to go Vikings because it is at home and they're coming off a bye week.
Sure.
Bears at Cowboys.
Cowboys, unless it's raining, because that's the only way the Bears can win is if it's a torrential downpour.
Well, it's in Dallas, so it will not be raining.
Good. So yes, Dallas.
Yeah, I'm picking them too. Their defense is too good. Raiders at Saints.
Raiders, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I guess is the right sentiment, but I'm also going to pick Raiders. Steelers at Eagles. The Steagles.
This is an easy one, and I'm going to go with the team from Pennsylvania.
Wise decision.
Mm-hmm.
In a tie.
Yeah, I wish. That would be a sweet thing. No, I'll go Philly.
Yeah, me too. Patriots at Jets.
Jets. They're riding high, man.
I'm going to go Jets too. The thing with the Jets that sucks for them, real quick, is that they're doing really well, and now they've had two
they lost
brutal
Breece
injuries
Hall.
last week. And Elijah Vera Tucker, their guard from last year in the first round.
That's right.
He's gone for the season too.
But the Patriots have Mac Jones.
And Bailey Zappi that they'll switch off every other play. Good decision.
Cool.
Titans at Texans.
Titans, who I still forget is a NFL team this year.
I think this is an upset game, potentially. And
Sure.
not that I think Texans are good. The Titans are just kind of like whatever. Texans are a little less than whatever. I'll pick Texans. Giants at Seahawks. In this week's only matchup of teams with winning records. The New York Giants versus the Seattle Seahawks.
So here's what's interesting about this one is I am a big G-Man believer.
I am now.
However, I'm a bigger G-No believer. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
I am as well. I agree. Just because it's home. Commanders at Colts.
So here's, I guess, an upset pick, but I'm going to go Commanders.
This could have been the revenge game, Carson Wentz versus the Colts, Carson Wentz versus Matt Ryan, but instead we have a better option, probably, and I'm not even joking about it, with Taylor Heineke versus Sam Ellinger. I'm going to go with the Commanders as well. 49ers at Rams.
So I got criticized last time for this one. And I don't think the Rams are that good of a team this year, so I'm going to say 49ers.
Again, the 49ers, besides the playoffs last year, have won 7 times in a row against the Rams. So, yep, I'm going to go Niners again. Packers at Bills.
That's hilarious.
I know.
Bills?
Yeah. I'm sure when they made the schedule, they're like, ooh, this will be a fun Sunday night game. Nope, sucks because Packers aren't good. Bengals at Browns on Monday night. Here's a little nugget for you before you pick. The Browns, under Kevin Stefanski, have never lost to the Bengals.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Well, here's a fun one for you. They will this week. So I'm going to pick the Bengals.
I am as well, actually. Okay, that'll do it for the picks this week. And that's going to do it for the podcast. This podcast full of ranting and anger. We'll see you next week for more ranting, for more anger, for more tears, for more depression, or maybe we'll see you after a win.
Not happening.
No. Thank you for listening to the podcast, the Northern Steel Podcast, to be specific. My name is Dominic. This is Chris. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Chuck E. Cheese. Chris, do you have anything left to say?
I guess go Steelers.
I guess indeed. Deuces.
Peace.